Hey lovelies, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Let's get into today's video. Today we're going to be talking about Martell Holt, Simon Guobadia, Porsha Williams, and basically all of the things that have been happening in these streets, honey. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post. And everyone, please do me a favor, like, share, and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. So you guys already know that Simon Guobadia is always going in on Porsha Williams on his social media whenever he gets the opportunity to. Now, this time around, it's nothing new because he has chosen to drag her and her mom, allegedly. So Simon celebrated his birthday on the 2nd of June. And it was interesting because Porsha Williams did not acknowledge his birthday, but she made a heartfelt post to Andy Cohen, who also has the same birthday as Simon. What are the odds of that? And Porsha was like, that's the only birthday she recognizes. I'm like, all right, okay, a little spicy. You guys are doing a little jab for jab. And of course, you all know Simon don't be taking nothing. He is going to drag things if he can't do anything else. So what did Simon do? Simon referenced a book by Jay Jenkins saying real men don't cheat, right? And then he, of course, had his little 2 cents to say. He said, if you all recall, I posted this back in November 2023 about men, and right around when my good friend Jeezy came out with his best-selling book, Adversity for Sale. I now believe I was wrong in singling out men. How about real men and women don't cheat? I stand 10 toes down and challenge any married man or woman to join me in claiming that stance. Okay? Now, let me interrupt a little bit quickly. I'm thinking it's already sounding a little bit like some shade to Porsha Williams, but we're going to get into it in a second. Let's keep reading. We're at a bankrupt culture that struggles to take a stand on what's right or wrong. Yes, I woke up agitated at how we think and rationalize bad behavior. We absolutely have to wake up and do better. I'm not perfect and I own up to my shortcomings in life, but I will never stay silent as many have suggested in the face of moral bankruptcy. We must do better. Hashtag call out the BS. Hashtag moral bankruptcy. Hashtag do better challenge. Hashtag loyalty matters. I feel like it is really given that he is trying to insinuate that Porsha Williams was either cheating or has been cheating on him in some way. And it gets worse, guys. Follow me, it gets worse. Simon decided to make a post about grandmother telling him that one man will always have access to his woman and he should carry that mentality to organize himself properly. Simon decided to caption this as facts. I'm like, what is it that deep? Is there something that you know that we don't know? And then goes on to say, by no means am I suggesting that every woman maintains an inappropriate relationship with an ex. If this doesn't fit, you are acquitted. And congratulations to your upbringing and possibly who you surround yourself with. Now, there's a lot to unpack there, okay? But first of all, it sounds like he's suggesting that Porsha Williams has an inappropriate relationship with an ex. Now, the only ex that comes to mind would be Dennis. Because I feel like lately she has been hanging around Dennis quite a lot. Now, I know that usually PJ is there, but that doesn't mean that maybe that's not what Simon is referring to. I just think it feels like that's what Simon is referring to. Also, it feels like Simon has made himself the moral police because he's the one saying to people, you are acquitted. Honey, are you now the judge of morality? If you were, would you have dated someone who was a castmate to your ex-wife? You don't have the audacity to talk about morality and someone being morally bankrupt when you and Porsha are both morally bankrupt. And I like Porsha. I'm just saying. you guys doing that was morally bankrupt to begin with. So you can say what you want, but that doesn't make you a judge of who's morally bankrupt. Now it gets even more interesting. So Peter Thomas, do you guys remember Peter, who was Cynthia Bailey's ex-husband on Real Housewives of Atlanta? He decided to leave a comment saying, whenever you fall in love with a woman that have a child or children, the change that their father, if he is a good man, he will always have that access. It might not be the same as yours, but he have access. First of all, the grammar is just atrocious and appalling, but we'll give it to him. We get the gist. Basically, the person gonna have access, okay? So Simon then says, and I welcome that access. I'm all for healthy co-parenting. What begs the question is, what type of other access should this father have? I'm guessing it means having, and be practicing with the co-parent while married to another man. I feel like this is given. He's directly coming for Dennis because he pinned this thing said by Peter. I feel like he's coming for Porsha and Dennis and basically insinuating that there's a little something beyond what we're seeing going on with Porsha and Dennis. Now, of course, we don't know for a fact, but it could perhaps be something. Well, it gets worse. So Simon decided to post a picture of his mother. First of all, she's late, so rest her soul. And said, I woke up this morning 8 hours ahead in Dubai, remembering my late mother, Martina Taiwo Guobadia, and her impact on my life. She was kind, gentle, and had no animus. I'm guessing it means animosity towards anyone. She never sat and watched me take what was not mine. Do you know what? When I read that, I paused a little bit. I was like, okay, so not saying she was watching, but what happened when you allegedly committed all those crimes in the past? What happened with that? Anyways, let's keep reading. She was vocal and did it so in a loving way. Okay. So I'm guessing she called him out, basically. I left her for boarding school at the young age of 11 years old. To this day, I hear her voice when it comes to right and wrong. I pray you all have the benefit of a mother who loves you and lets you know when you are dead wrong and does so in a loving way. May her soul continue to rest in perfect peace. #loving-mom. #peace and love. #integrity matters. That is very, very interesting because it's almost insinuating, in my opinion, you guys might feel like it's a reach, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But it's almost given that he is taking jabs at Porsha Williams' mother and basically saying she ain't calling her out, allegedly, when she does something wrong. This is just my opinion. He did not call her name. I'm just saying, we know that since the divorce, Simon has been mad pressed and he's been talking about Porsha the whole time on his Instagram page. So I feel like it's within reason for us to believe that he's using this to throw shade as well. I'm gonna just say that. Now, that's not the end of it. He also says, the Guobadia family has always been a prideful family. Probably one of the largest families in Nigeria. Now, I disagree with that because I've never heard the name Guobadia before Simon, right? Like, I've heard of names like Dangote or Tedola and many others, but I've never heard of the Guobadia family. So for him to say one of the largest families in Nigeria, I feel like that's a reach, in my personal opinion. But I don't know. I'm just saying I never heard anyone called Guobadia before Simon Guobadia. Okay. Well, if you're Nigerian, let us know also if you've ever heard anyone by the name Guobadia before Simon in the chats. Of course, Fallon, but I mean like from Nigeria. But anyway, let's keep going. Our name is literally tied to one single family, meaning most people with the last name Guobadia are related. So when one of their family members is reduced to a #storyline, did I say hashtag? Quotation marks, sorry. Thousands of family members are also affected by the narrative created and meant to destroy. I want to publicly acknowledge and apologize to my family, the Guobadias, for the pain my poor judgment may have caused and brought upon our family name. I'm so sorry. I beg for your forgiveness. I'm like, okay, he is doing too much. Like, now you're saying that, you're begging your family members that no one even knows for the shame that you brought upon them. No one even knows anyone you're related to even start with. So, like, what sort of thing or what sorts of shame are you saying that you brought on the family? Like, it's not like there's a public sort of thing that has been brought to the family. I think if anything, you're the one that is bringing shame to the family because you keep going on about it. She hasn't said much. You're not the first person to have a divorce. The difference is most people keep quiet about it. You keep talking and ranting and talking, and go to your therapist. You have enough money to get a therapist. Go to a therapist. Instagram is not your therapist. Anyways, you guys can tell I'm frustrated on that one. He also says this last one, and then we move on to Martell Holt. He says, my life is not a storyline. My life is a story of perseverance. I can't even say that word very well, but I think I did my best with that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Now let's talk about Martell Holt. Everything is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so Martell Holt's attorney, who was representing him on the custody case, has decided allegedly to withdraw from the case. Now, she filed a motion at 6 p.m., literally trying to come off the record. She's like, I'm not doing it. Her reason for the withdrawal, so the reason for filing the motion, was that there has been a breakdown in attorney-client communications. Now, first of all, shall I say shout out to Trending at some point for covering this. That's where I got this information from. It just made me think for a second, what does breakdown in attorney-client communications mean? I feel like, to me, it's given like maybe they couldn't agree on something. Maybe the lawyer was giving him some advice. He was going against advice. He was being extremely difficult or derogatory to the lawyer. Or maybe he did not pay attorney fees. So sometimes, usually when they send you a bill, for instance, and then there is usually a deadline by which you're meant to pay it. So I know for this country, when there is a bill, it would usually set the deadline by which you're meant to pay it by. And then it would also talk about like interest if you default on paying it by the set deadline. So I feel like it could have been either him choosing not to pay the fees, and then maybe she gave him a grace period and he still didn't pay, and she's just like, I'm not gonna do this is not gonna work. It could also be, or it could be maybe like there is like court documents that need to be filed. So sometimes when like a statement or something has to be filed at court, and you're trying to get your client to provide the information required for you to prepare the statement. Let's say, for instance, the person does not do that and provide what you need, and you're on the court record. You don't want to end up with egg on your face as an officer of the court because your client isn't doing something that they need to be doing at the right time, and they're missing a court order deadline. So at some point you have to then decide, okay, you're not providing me with this evidence or this information that I need. I can't represent you, so I'm going to file a motion to come off the court records and stop representing you, essentially. So I think it could have been one of those things. I do think, though, I think Trending said this, that usually the motion gets granted right away. If he, for instance, like signed a consent to withdraw, and so literally then the judge can easily just grant that motion to withdraw. I know there isn't a lot for us to read in between the lines, but I'm quite curious as to what's happened. We're probably never going to find out because of attorney-client privilege, but I would pay to be a fly on the wall and actually watch what happened and be able to be like, yeah, I know what happened. But unfortunately we don't. We can only speculate in relation to that and say, like, usually from what we know and what we've heard, usually what could be the issue in this situation. So let me know what you guys think and what you guys think about all of the stories. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post or go live. Let me know what you guys think, and yeah, let's join the conversation. Also, before I forget, shout out to you guys. I was saying I wanted to hit 3,000 subscribers. I hit the 3,000 subscribers. Now I'm on 3,200 already. So you guys are the best. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please, let's try and get me to 4,000 or even 5,000 this month if possible. So please continue to hit that subscribe button and support me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.